Hello, dear friends, and welcome to another episode of the Dear Friend Podcast. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new, hi, I'm Eden. I'm the owner of Dartanian Toque, where I sell my handmade progress keepers, watercolor paintings, and other handmade treasures. Oh, and this is my new podcast partner, who I found at the beach, actually, among the waves and the rocks and stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to completely remember his name. Nicholas, my brother who edits these podcasts, wanted this little guy to be kind of my new podcast companion that he can put little subtitles on. So he will be saying random things throughout the podcast. This is Darby. Darby. It's just a name that jumped out of my brain immediately when I wanted to call him. But his full name is Darby Dave, because Nicholas wanted him to also be named Dave. You can call him Dave for short, or Darby if you want to want him to feel posh about it. So Darby Dave is my new podcast companion. I found him at the beach. He is a deer skull, and his antlers have been removed, but his skull is still in pretty good shape. He's got a few teeth missing, but there's still quite a few there. He's not in bad shape for a skull that spent a few days in the ocean. So I thought I'd give him another life, being a podcast host. But yeah, so my new little friend here. Anyways, we will get on with the podcast. So I'd intended to do this at the beach, but I had forgotten the little connector that connects my mic to my phone. So that was kind of important, and I intended to do this whole episode outside, but it has been wet and cold, or it's been wet or cold for the past little while, so I have been trapped indoors, which I'm always indoors anyways, but since I'm all alone today, I thought I would do this episode out in my living room, where the sun is mostly peeking through. It is just total clouds up there, but the sun is peeking through enough that it'll give us some good podcasting light. I've got my coffee. I will admit, this is my second coffee this morning. This is also the second time I'm filming this podcast, because the first time I attempted to do it halfway through my first cup of coffee. It's a terrible idea. Do not recommend it. I couldn't remember anything and couldn't speak English. So, we're trying this again, and hopefully it goes well this time. I'm drinking this out of my Dartanian Toque mug, which has a red moon that I painted myself on here. I have some of these in the shop, and I think they're still on sale because I forgot to turn it off. But if you want one, they're still on sale. Go grab one. They're the perfect little size mugs. And I've also discovered how to, if you throw chocolate into your coffee before you make it, like throw it into the mug and it melts, you stir it in, it's like an elevated mocha. So I've been having these probably one like every day, which is probably not the healthiest, but it is delicious. But yeah, so I have a bunch of finished objects and some works in progress, and Darby, of course. So I think we should get on into all the yarny goodness. First finished object is what I'm wearing. This is actually a blanket, but I'm wearing it as a shawl because it folds up into a perfect half hexagon and makes the perfect shawl. Sorry, Darby. I don't know if you can see the full thing there. I can't show you the full blanket. This is like an attempt, I guess. Let's give this a go. Whoop. There we go. So there is mostly the full thing. It is humongous, but I finally finished it and I am in love with this project. It is amazing. I kind of want to make one every year now with every single advent calendar, but I should give other patterns a chance, but I will definitely make another one day. This is, I should talk about the pattern. This is the Giant Puff Stitch Hexagon Blanket by Bright Red Cherries, and I made this out of my 2020 yarn advent calendar from Storyweaver Yarn. It was her two-door, Royal Two-Door advent calendar. It was so beautiful. I loved every skein, and she threw in some extra goodies in there, which was so sweet. She threw in a bath bomb in there, and it was amazing. I love the rose bath bomb. If you've watched my Vlogmas, you will see all the stuff in there. But yeah, I finally finished it. I held the minis with whiskers from Mad Tosh, and yeah, that's about it. If I had all the yarn that I needed to make this blanket, I could have finished this in December. It was so quick. I could do the mini skein every day within like an hour or so. So that was great, but I ran out of yarn, I think, by day 17, I think, and had to go on a hunt. But luckily, you amazing viewer found the yarn for me, and I was able to keep the color consistent, and it turned out well. So this is an amazing pattern. I highly recommend it for even beginners to intermediate crocheters. It's perfect for either of the spectrum, and it's so cozy. It's kind of like how people really like weighted blankets right now. This is the crocheted version of a weighted blanket, and it brings a lot of comfort to me. So I wear this around the house. I bring it everywhere. I mean everywhere. When I leave the house, go to the beach. Just, yeah, I love it so much. So yeah, that's my first finished object. It has not been blocked yet. I just haven't taken the time to. I've been very busy with a lot of things, like making stuff for the shop, and I've been going through my yarn stash. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my whole stash on my bed, and my brother belly flopped into it. It was spectacular. But I have been going through my stash and downsizing it, and taking all the skeins that I had pre-wound up to knit with but then never did. I've been putting them back in hanks, which has been quite the arm workout. If you're looking for an arm workout, wind skeins back in the hanks. My goodness. But yeah, totally getting off track. My other finished object is actually my new pattern that I released back in January on the 25th. Is my Dartanian Toque pattern. which is my first crocheted pattern design. So just sip of coffee. Get onto those. So here is my original one. I was wearing this last time on the podcast. This is the We Hate Rachel Green Club from That Yarn Habit. It is a DK weight hat and a simple crochet pattern, but the texture goes perfectly with speckles. It goes well with more tonals or even crazy skeins or just plain solids. So here is the second one I finished. It's got some, my youngest brother has been wearing this, and there's moss all over it from his adventures outdoors, but he's been really liking this. This is Marshland from Ginger Snap Yarn on their Luxe DK base, which is an amazingly soft DK weight yarn. I love it. It's so soft. I wear it sometimes too. I steal it from him, but it fits him. I can't remember my own brother's age right now. Did he just turn 8? Oh goodness. I think he's 7. That's horrible of me. I'll put in the actual thing. Darby will correct me later. I'm so bad. I can't think of numbers this morning. But he's been wearing this. I'm going to say he's 7 right now. And it fits him. And then it fits me. I wonder if I could put this on without totally wrecking my hair. There we go. Yeah, it fits an adult and it fits kids. So it is a great pattern for, shawl down. I'm a little messy this morning. But, yeah. This is a great hat for, it's a one size fits most. So, but I would love to design this hat in like a baby version and a more smaller toddler version. So that will be my goal for one day. Probably when I have my own kids and can know their head sizes and design them specifically for them. See in a few years. And then I made this one. This is a really cool hat. The sun's coming out, so you can see that. You see that fuzzy halo? So cool. This is yarn from Zelina. I hope I'm saying that right. They are a yarn company down in New Zealand, and it is a mix of wool and brush-tail possum, which the brush-tail possum is a short-haired creature, so that gives it this really cool halo. It is nice and warm. I wear this every time I leave the house because it keeps the cold out, and yeah, it is just a wonderful yarn and a beautiful color. Like, that's pretty close to what it's like a goldish green, almost say. It's a very unique shade of green. And yeah, so this one is mine, and I have been wearing it all the time. And all DK. So if you have a skein of DK weight yarn, typically a bigger skein of DK weight yarn, like 280 yards, this is a great pattern. And if you are a beginning crocheter, I have put a tutorial how to start the toque and how to do the texture of the toque. And so you'd be on your way, and you can get that in my shop at yarnco.squarespace.com. And yeah, so that's my other finished object. And I guess that means we can move on to whips. Today has been such a morning already. I have been talking for the past 13 minutes, not realizing I didn't put my microphone back on. So, back to works in progress. Here we are again. And I fixed my hair because it was getting wild. So, works in progress. My goodness. It's just been all morning, but that's okay. It's been fun. I mean, there's worse ways to mess up your mornings where you just talk about yarn all morning and drink coffee. So, my first work in progress is this sock. This is my first pattern. Well, not my first pattern. My first sock pattern that I had started designing, and then I put it aside for a little while so that I could face my thoughts on other designs. But now they're back, and I'm hoping to release these this month in February. I just have to finish the sock, write up the pattern, and then I will be putting out a test call on my Instagram. So this doesn't have a name yet. I think I have a slight idea of what I want to call them, but if you have any ideas, please put them down in the comments. So this is a regular sock, and then it is mixed kind of like with a legging of fisherman's rib. This is designed to be one full skein of fingering weight yarn, and then add on some 5 20-gram minis. My brain. Yeah, I've been working on this fisherman's rib, and it's actually very mindless once you get the repeats down, and it's great. It's going to be so nice and cozy once it's done. So the main skein is drawing a blank here. Farmer's Daughter fibers in the Moon Sisters colorway, and it's a bronze stellina base. So it is really pretty. Can't really get the reflection of it in the camera. It doesn't really pick up the sparkle, but it's really pretty, and it's even showing up in the fisherman's rib. And then the minis are just a bunch of scraps from my, either scraps or minis that don't have a name that came with sock sets. So I don't really know their names anymore. But this is the prototype pair, and then I'm going to be making another pair out of yarn from Crux Fibers. I bought one of her mini sets, her pickles mini sets, and then she dyed me up a main skein to coordinate with them. And so I'm really excited to knit that pair. So yeah, that's gonna be my February pattern release. I'm hoping to release a pattern every month in the year of 2021. So that's gonna be my February release. And then, oh, I completely forgot, I mean, it's nothing, but this is the body of my Sensum sweater that I restarted. So literally just ribbing. So nothing big, but I promise to have that done next episode. I mean, I hope. I swear on my stash that this sweater will be done by the next podcast episode, which is a big thing for a yarny to say. So now I really have to. And my next socks, mostly my whips are socks right now, but whoa dear, such a tangle right now. But well, okay, my shawl's gonna fall off, but here we go. I got the heels done on my holly socks. So this is the holly sock set from K-Zip Knits, and it is on a gold stellina base. It is so pretty, but I got the heels done. Now it's just knit up the leg and to the cuff. So yeah, I'm doing these on 2.25 millimeter size 1 US, and just magic looping. Here it is in the skein. I don't have a pattern for these. This is just a simple vanilla sock, but if you want a pattern to make a simple vanilla sock, I would recommend Victoria's wool sock pattern. My goodness, Kirsty socks. I'm so sorry, Victoria. I know I'm messing that up, but I will link them down below because it is a great vanilla sock pattern for beginners. But I am just doing this out of my brain for a short row heel, which I do short row heels for all my socks because it's a really easy way to do heels and mindless. Like, you don't have to think about it too much. So yeah, those are my other socks, and I have one last work in progress, which is also a pair of socks. These are another pattern that I'm designing, and these socks are for my boyfriend. I think I know what I want to call him, but I'm not going to give anything away until I get some cables in them so you can really see. Now this is, hopefully I don't get this tangled. There we go. This is David Bowie from Black Cat Yarn on their Workhorse base. So it is a superwash blue faced Leicester and nylon. And it is did I say what this was called? David Bowie? I'm drawing a blank here. David Bowie from Black Cat Yarn, which is this pretty light blue with a bunch of colored speckles on there. And I cast on 16 stitches and then increased to 76. So this is a men's size. And I'm doing this on size 0 needles, which is size 2 millimeter. So it's a really nice dense fabric, and combined with this yarn, which will hold up really nicely, they're probably going to last a long time, which is good because he wears his socks a lot and around the house, which is a normal thing, but I don't wear socks all that often, which is funny because I'm making a lot of them. But these will hold up for him who wears his socks a lot. Anyways, so far I've just gotten in a little bit of pro bumps in there for some texture, and yeah, I'm doing these 2 at a time, and it's been great. I'm hoping that these will probably be my April pattern release, just to give myself some time, because I want a pair for myself too. So this is going to come in a men's size and a women's size. Maybe it'll go 64 stitch, 72 stitch, 76, because I am a 72 stitch sock when it comes to size 0s. I have a weirdly wide foot, not necessarily a long foot, but a wide foot. So I generally have to make my socks a little bit bigger. And I think that's it, actually. Wow, got through that pretty fast. So yeah, that's all that I've been working on. I have been very busy with the Dartanian Toque pattern was the thing that I worked on for a while. And then I've been going through my stash and downsizing it and putting skeins that I had wound up back into their hanks so that they can relax, because when skeins are held in all wound up for a long time, that messes with the fiber, so it will lose elasticity and just stretch out. So I have been putting them back into hanks, which is a lot of work because there's no machine to do that backwards. So I've been getting quite an arm workout from that. And I've been downsizing my stash, and it's been going pretty well. And I've been working a lot in the shop. I've been having fun. These are new. These are some gold, antique gold resin, which will probably be in the shop by the time this podcast is out. And I've been doing a lot of polymer clay stuff. I got a new oven. It's a toaster oven, technically, but I've been using it for baking charms. It's been a bit of a learning curve because I've been burning some stuff, but I think I got the hang of it now. Yeah. It has been an interesting year already. I'm shocked it's February. I didn't think it would ever come, but here we are. And yeah. So I don't think there's anything else to really talk about other than that's about what I've been up to. Been knitting, working, and cleaning, and I think 2021 has become this time of me trying to get everything under control, because I am the least planned person you'd probably ever meet. I'm also a messy person. I'm not a tidy person whatsoever. So that kind of backfires when it comes to cleaning, but that's okay. I've been enjoying it. It's a good way to, when you clean stuff, you feel refreshed and getting stuff under control. So yeah, that's been what I've been up to lately. And yeah. Oh, I wanted to talk about people do this word of the year that will word warrior year, and that you add to your lifestyle to kind of help you along. So this year, I think this is the very first year that I'm actually doing a word, and for me this year that word is wonder. And a very odd choice, I think, but I really wanted to implant how the word wonder actually is, because it's not a word used a lot in today's society. It seemed to have lost its wonder, technically. So I wanted to implant it more. So I've been trying to add that into my makes and my work, and just my overall look on life, because wonder is a magical thing that when you see stuff in that perspective, things, I don't know how to put it, they're cooler, they're happier, they're more amazing. So I wanted to implant wonder into my life. I actually thought of the word when my boyfriend and I were talking about how wonder is something that little kids have more than grown-ups. You see a toddler, or a baby, that just have an overall awe for life and have an outlook of wonder on everything that seem so normal to us because we've lived life and we've seen it every day. So at some point in a person's life, wonder kind of disappears and everything becomes more regular and dull. So at some point it kind of just evaporates from our outlook on life, and that's really sad, because I think wonder becomes this, it's connected to joy. When you have an outlook of wonder on life, things give you joy more often. So when I see all my makes and what people are making and yarn, it brings me such joy, and I want to implant more wonder, because that's the word that comes to mind when I see people making stuff that make them happy. It brings joy to me as well. So my goal for this year is to add more wonder to my life and more wonder to other people's lives through what I make, and this podcast is one way of doing that. And so yeah, I hope you, which is why I've changed my sorry, I'm totally jumping, which is why I've changed my outro to a wonder-filled day. I kind of forgot to mention that the last time, and my brother pointed it out to me that, do you know you said wonder-filled, not wonderful, which I think are two different things. Wonderful is just an overall great day. A wonder-filled day lasts longer, if you get what I mean. Like, when you have a wonderful day, it makes you happy for the day. Having a wonder-filled day, I would say, gives you more fuel for a longer period of time. So I want to make wonder a bigger thing for me and other people. Right, Darby? Darby here. I don't think he's a wonder-filled guy, but it was a wonder moment when I found him on the beach, and now he brings me a lot of joy. For a skull, brings me a lot of joy. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about today, and I hope that it inspires you. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you all have a wonder-filled day, dear friends. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.